Have you ever wondered why sometimes life has you going around in circles and you haven't figured out your purpose or which path you should go? Ever get tired of dating the same type of people and you feel like you're wasting your time? Or you have been dating forever and still waiting on wedding bells? What about being married, but you may still feel lonely, or you are constantly arguing with your spouse? There was once a time you were all inseparable and couldn't keep your hands off each other and so in love, but now you barely talk. Life can sometimes get in the way, and before you know it, you barely have time for yourself. You are raising kids, always tired, and then they grow up and you don't know what to do with yourself. Ourbond is the solution for you. It's a 30, 60, and 90-day challenge created by experts in categories of singleness, dating, marriage, and parenting. These challenges were developed based on both the male and female perspective. You will receive daily tips, lessons, and encouragement to grow into the person you seek to become. Each day is tailored specifically for your journey in life. Put yourself first and take this challenge to begin your journey. You will experience growth and will evolve within 90 days. All you have to do is take the first step in this path, waiting just for you.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, how y'all doing?
What's up, peoples? How y'all feeling? We are Ourbondlive. We are the Hartmans. We are here to talk tonight just about a few things that we've experienced in this time of the coronavirus, COVID-19. So, you guys can share. Please share.
Yeah, we're here every Tuesday, but lately we've just been, just a lot going
Yeah, there's been
on.
a lot going on.
But typically we're here every Tuesday, I think 7 p.m. You can catch us live on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. Y'all, I'm struggling.
She's struggling.
But I wanted to come out tonight just so that I can share with y'all what's been going on with me.
Yeah.
And I'm just so thankful for y'all prayers and reaching out to us.
Yeah. We have just wonderful people, good family members, great church members who helped us out even during this time, and so it's just definitely a blessing to know that you have love from different people.
Right. So if you don't know us, we're the Hartmans.
Yes,
We've been married. Next month will be 16 years.
Officially.
We have 4 beautiful girls.
Yes.
And also, too, we only knew each other 2 months before we married.
That's right.
So we've really only known each other 16 years, right?
16 years, really.
So I'm a registered nurse.
Yes.
He's an engineer and a pastor. I'm in nursing informatics.
Give just a brief explanation of what nursing informatics is.
So before I say that, the title of this show tonight is "I tested positive for COVID-19."
Yes,
it's me. I tested positive. Got the results last week. So nursing informatics. What I do, and we're going to be transparent tonight because we want you all to just know that COVID attacks people different ways.
Yes, it does.
And so I just wanted to just share our experience, and so that maybe it can help someone else. So I'm tired sometimes with this, so he's going to carry the show. Okay?
We're going to see what happens.
We'll see what happens. So, like I said, I'm a registered nurse in nursing informatics. I have my master's in nursing informatics. So what that is, basically, a lot of people call us a computer nurse. Yeah. But basically, we're the liaison between the IT world and the clinical world. Yeah. We understand both sides. And so things, I manage a team in cancer research. So I manage a team of data analysts. Now, with that being said, I typically work from home. Okay. Yeah. But since I'm a registered nurse first, I still like to occasionally go back out there in the field. And so, sometimes like when you have professors that are like doctors or nurse practitioners, they're professors, they still they still practice medicine outside of their normal career path, because if you don't use your skills, you'll lose it.
Yes, you will.
So I'm a house supervisor here in Atlanta, part-time, PRN, part-time, in one of the health facilities here in Atlanta. So in March was a good month for me initially, right? Yeah,
birthday girl.
It was my birthday.
Grandmother's birthday.
My grandmother turned 97. I turned 44. My uncle, he turned 70-something. I turned 25 years old in my sorority, the greatest sorority ever, Alpha, Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. We turned my line, Spring 95, Alabama A&M. We turned 25 years old, our line, and we had a nice celebration the first weekend here in Atlanta that weekend. Yeah. So very, very busy. Yeah. Whatever. And so I had to, I think 3 weeks later, went into the health facility, like I said, and I was exposed to a patient. Yes. And so I didn't, think anything of it, because you look at what's going on in the world right now. You got us nurses on the front lines every single day, But then I started developing symptoms. Yeah. Yeah. Right. And so I started developing fevers. Now, let me tell you, y'all, my fevers did not go over 100.
Low-grade fevers.
Low-grade fevers. 99.8 was the highest. Yeah. So they would range just between, like, maybe 99.5, 99.8. Yeah. Okay. So I developed fevers, over a 4-day period, probably. On and off. It'll go up, it'll go down. Then I had these massive headaches. Yeah. Like I thought my head I was going to explode. Now, it's allergy season. Yeah. Right? But I kept telling myself that I had allergies. But I noticed this was different. Y'all know allergy folks. You get the allergies, you start itching in your ears, your eyes might start watering. And then you do like this because you're trying to scratch your throat.
Yeah.
But I wasn't doing that. And I was taking my allergy meds. So I thought I had allergies because I had the headaches and my nose was so stuffy.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, very stuffy. Sore throat, and I was tired. I was like sleeping for days.
Mm-hmm.
Then I told, so the health facility told me that the patient that I was in contact with, now, and I'm not really, I'm the house supervisor.
So she doesn't really have close contact with
so I
the
don't have a patient assignment.
Yeah.
My nurses only call me when they need help, if there's something wrong, whatever like that.
Yeah.
So they told me that I went in when I went in to help my nurse with one of the patients, that she had she tested positive.
Yeah.
Initially, though, she had pneumonia.
Mm-hmm.
And then it developed. Well, she probably already had COVID-19, but then a symptom of it is, you develop pneumonia.
Yeah.
So then I called my physician, and she said I need to self-quarantine for 14 days.
Yeah.
And I did.
Mm-hmm.
April 13th or 14th
was when she officially
was my official
day
14th day.
Yeah.
Now, everybody been listening to CDC and all that stuff, and they say, 14 days quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go back out to the world. So I going out in the world and get some fresh air. And I had a mask on, and I'm chilling with hubby. Then get a call from the health facility like, hey, they testing, because we've had more patients tested positive. We're allowing all staff to get tested. Now, initially, I couldn't get tested because I forgot to say that.
Yeah, her symptoms weren't
severe enough. You can
with
only,
the low grade, the headaches, and just some level of fatigue.
Yeah, I had some abdominal pain, but it wasn't. I'm a woman. Still have monthlies.
Yeah,
we always have abdominal cramping and stuff. So I didn't think anything of it, and I didn't cough. Sore throat.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't cough. Wasn't short of breath. Because one day we went for a walk. I'm just
in
tired.
Our neighborhood.
In our subdivision.
We didn't go out like out like
we
that.
Walked on it was at night, late at night.
On a Sunday evening.
Mm-hmm. So my doctor said I didn't qualify for a test. I just had to self-quarantine.
Yeah.
So then when my facility on day 14 said, hey, we're offering tests, I said, why not? I had stopped having fevers. Only thing I still had was just headaches.
Yeah.
Just headaches. And, taking Tylenol, and it seemed like they never disappeared. So I get tested on a Monday night, like around 11 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
on a Monday night. And then we get back to the house. He's been my chauffeur. I don't go nowhere.
Yeah.
So I got tested. And then on that Thursday, which was last week.
Thursday.
Thursday.
The 16th.
Was it?
Yeah.
Last week Thursday, I got a
April
call
16th.
that I tested positive.
Yes.
And I said, how the heck that happened? How the heck I'm positive? That don't make sense.
Yeah.
Because I
just experienced the 14 days quarantine.
I adhered to the 14 days quarantine.
The last time she had contact with a patient who had tested positive
was
March
29th.
Yes.
So now, mind you, our physician told me to quarantine at home. So, of course, I'm away from the kids. We're supposed to have a plan. I stay in the room. Hubby goes somewhere else.
But here's the thing. The whole time during that experience between March 29th and April 16th, although she had been in contact, she had not tested positive because she hadn't had a test, although she was showing some level of symptoms that we didn't know if it was either sinuses or allergies or if it was actually COVID-19. So I'm just chilling with my wife the entire time in the room at the same time.
Yeah.
I love my wife, and
I'm with a fever, and he laying right next to me.
Oh my goodness, y'all.
Now I know.
I was checking on her, making her take her fever, bringing her stuff
I know, because
all the
I
time
didn't
because
want to
she
eat.
wasn't getting out of the bed.
Yeah, I didn't want to eat or anything.
Clarify what you gonna say, but at the same time, I did not leave the room.
Okay, so he went against all guidelines of when you quarantine. You are supposed to be separated from your family. I'm supposed to be in a room by myself. He either supposed to be in a basement or in another room. He didn't do any of that. Okay, and so we got 4 kids. We got 4 kids, and I kept telling him, I said, our oldest 14, she'll be 15 this year. Both of us can't be sick.
Yeah.
Because then we're not going to have any family members who are going to come and help, right?
Yeah.
Because they'll get infected. Yeah, they just can't. They can't come in. We wouldn't ask. We'll have a 14, almost 15-year-old taking care of us. So he has been around me the entire time. So my headaches just stopped this week. I haven't had any headaches.
Yeah.
But you listen and you read stories, listen to the news, you read stories. Some of those physicians up there in New York that are really dealing with this are saying that they quarantine for 28 days.
Yeah. They said every time that they would leave the hospital and go home, they said, I'm 28 days to being COVID free. Basically, they would say that if I got it tonight, then I'm 28 days to that date where I could be COVID free. But here's the thing. We never really understood it and knew that because they don't really always say that in the media. They and then you just got to do your own background research. But then here's another thing. We're all experiencing this together. So those who are going through it, actually, you're experiencing what it means for a person to be tested positive and go through the symptoms yourself. And then you don't have a baseline for really how to, what this experience is going to be like. So in that, she's going through it at the same time I'm experiencing it, but I'm trying to help her through it because I don't have any symptoms. I'm asymptomatic.
That's what you call it, asymptomatic, right? So I called my physician again. She's like, Mr. Hardman, you don't listen.
She's of Indian descent, but she's a nice lady.
You don't listen.
Yeah.
So
well, she said there's a lot of love in the house.
There's a lot of love in the house. But so he was tested
on Monday, yesterday. Well, yeah.
What's today?
Today is Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, because our show is every Tuesday.
Yeah, every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
So I was tested yesterday.
So he was tested yesterday.
I don't have the results.
We're assuming that he is positive.
Because of the close proximity that I've been to my wife.
He has now. The thing is, too, there's research, too, on your blood type. Mm-hmm. With who's, the most resistant that they're finding. Again, like he said, we're still going through this stuff daily, right?
Yeah.
But my husband happens to be O positive. They're saying that's it's a universal blood donor.
Yeah.
They're saying that his blood type is typically the most resistant. So if you do have it, you may be asymptomatic or your symptoms will be mild.
Yeah.
I'm AB something. I remember I'm AB something. I don't know.
I think it's AB positive.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I always get everything. I always get something. Flu something.
And I never get the flu.
Yeah. So
I never really get sick, period.
So
for the most part.
So like we told you, we have kids, right?
Yeah.
Got them 4 girls.
The old girls.
So I called their pediatrician. I told her everything.
Everything.
And I told her everything.
From top to bottom.
And I said, my husband's been cooking.
Yes.
He's been taking care of me. He's been helping the girls with their homework. He's been leaving the room and being around them. I said, I need my girls tested. Mm-hmm. And just see. Because, now I'm feeling like a bad mom because I done brought it home to my family.
Yeah.
Right?
But at the same time, as a husband, a woman who, a wife who actually is in the healthcare profession, number one, I know she takes pride in her profession.
I do.
And really want to do the best that she possibly can in taking care of patients. And even though she may not be fully, well, in this case, she's actually is on the front lines because she's in the facility and giving instruction and guidance to those who are going. And then she also has to see patients. She may not have to care for them on the consistent basis that
like
some of
if
the
one
other
of my nurses don't show up and I
then
don't have
she
the
has to
agency
fill
nurse,
in.
I'll
Exactly.
work that cart. I tell them I'm slow now.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna move as fast
So
as I
know,
used to.
but I know she takes pride in that,
Yeah.
and that's really important for her to really do that, and to also continue to keep up that
skill
that
set
that she's worked hard for.
I've worked so hard for. So back to the pediatrician. And she said, okay, your husband need to get tested. I said, I know that. I said, I'm working with that. Tell me, what about these kids? Apparently, if you're, they don't test you if you're below the age
of 18.
Of 18.
Yeah. So that's crazy because we didn't know that.
Didn't know that. Don't test them.
Obviously, there's some level of guidance that has been given to pediatricians to not test kids under the age of 18 unless they are showing severe symptoms.
I said, okay.
So that becomes the issue that we all are trying to address here.
So I said, well, what are severe symptoms? So I said, one of them started to have a headache, and I had a headache.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's gone since then. But, you know, I was getting kind of nervous. And it has to be very severe to where they would need to go to the ER.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if they go to, we have CHOA here, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
Yeah.
So if they were to go to CHOA, you alert them, hey, they got a positive parent or parents, and then they take it from there.
Yeah.
And they test them. So what she said, our girls now are on a 14-day quarantine.
Yeah. So we've had them now set up in
they all
different
have their
rooms.
4 different rooms where they sleep, and then when they're in general population, like, you got to go to the kitchen, right?
Yeah. So they have to wear
their mask.
Yeah.
And we try to stagger it
to where they're all not together at the same time.
Yeah, but you know, we ain't policing it. Like, I can't go. He does.
Yeah,
but I'm telling him to kind of stay away. I don't want him. So I think they're listening.
Yeah.
I do see them with their mask on, and like, we'll have the food in there, and then just yell on the speaker, hey girls, food are ready. You know, food is ready.
Yeah. And
then they're doing their homework in different rooms.
Yeah. Thank God for laptops.
Yeah. We've had some comments, and we hadn't.
We missed. Yeah.
Okay, here's one. So, well, then you got some up there, right?
Yeah. So Tiffany McKnight, hey, what's going on? She said, glad you're doing better, Stacy. Hey, hello, cousins. Hey, Stacy and
hey.
St. Pete. Ada McCrae, to God be the glory, and Stacy Hughes, of course, putting up the AKA because
of course, because she's my soror.
She's a soror.
Absolutely. Here's one.
Christopher Nichols, my God specializes in healing all kinds of diseases. Praise God for you, Pastor and First Lady. I'm singing and crying at the same time. Love you guys. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Tony was up, one of my college buddies. Played basketball together back in the day. Prayers, brother. God's got you. And the hand clap. Isha. Hey, Isha. One of my high school buddies. Jermel Barnes. Breathe easy. God is in command. So, and we know ultimately from this standpoint, we know that God is in control of this whole situation. Now, we try not to, I don't know, and I'm going to just say this because of the experience of what we've been going through. I don't know how to not be a part of her life in that sense. I mean, I know my love for her wants to make sure that she's taken care of. So every morning I'm like, how you feeling? What's what do I need to do? Do I need to get your medicine or anything? Now here's the thing: she doesn't have medicine for COVID-19. She has her own medication that she take on a daily basis. But even in that, I'm just trying to be there for her. And then I know I got the 4 girls that we're trying to take care of. So I'm kind of like the go-between to try to make sure they're straight.
He moved his office into our bedroom.
Oh my goodness!
So he breathing the same. I love my baby. We breathing the same air, but I can't complain. Like who? I can't complain and pray, but I'm gonna tell
She's
you
acting
my
like
fear.
I did this.
No, this is my fear, because in nursing you see people, they're fine, and then they take a turn for the worse.
Totally understand.
And that's just I get so excited when we just wake up every morning, and there's no issues. I hit him one morning. I don't think he realized that. But he just moved, but I hit him because I ain't see him breathing. Man, I hit you. I hit you. But I guess you was in a snore and you just... I hit him so... And it came out.
My goodness.
I get nervous.
I be trying to curtail some of the things, the intimacies of our bedroom, but she just be all transparent and then about saying that I moved my office. Tell me you didn't want me to move my office, okay. Anyway, but you see all of that. So I'm just doing what a husband who is used to just trying to make sure that the house is taken care of and fixed that I could possibly do. So I do. So he said, "Take it out." What? Take it out. What's up, T? But anyway, so all right, yeah, I will take it out. I do have a space down in the basement, my man cave. That So when I'm downstairs in the morning, don't be calling me. Okay, don't be calling me. That's all I'm gonna say.
Keep talking.
But anyway, but anyway, so in the midst of all of this, I'm just really trying to make sure my family is taken care of, because that's if you want to mess with me in any way, mess with my family. Everybody always call me a teddy bear, but if you want to see the grizzly come out, so I wish I could fight the corona right now, but he's an invisible enemy, because I would hurt the corona right now. However, at the same time, because I love my wife so much that and my whole entire family, that I just definitely want to see that we're going to come out of this. So, and then here's the thing: even as we were going through this process, and I'll tell you how awesome God is, that our church, we were on a 40-day fast. So even in the midst of that, I'm up every morning praying every morning for our well-being, the church's well-being, and it's almost like and we're still continuing that, even though it was supposed to end on Good Friday, but we're still going. And that's a testament of understanding that also at the same time prayer works, and prayer is a part of our life in order to continue to keep us and to give us an opportunity to commune with God on a level, to let go of the physical and to move into a spiritual place to connect and commune with God. So even in all of that, we were going through this process, and we started that process on March 2nd. And then all of this stuff started coming on, and with the coronavirus and everything. And we're in the midst of our prayer, and we're praying every morning, 6 a.m., consistently. And God is still working, in the midst of all of this. And so our responsibility is still, it's like everything happened specifically the way it was supposed to happen. And go ahead and tell, everybody what you had felt even before you got in contact with the lady or whatever. You got to share this, because this is kind of like a testimony of just the sovereignty and the providence of God. Yeah.
So when did we start hearing about Rona?
We started hearing about it maybe February, right between the beginning of March, but not seriously. Now it's been in the news, and it's been in the news, but it hasn't been like to the forefront like that.
It wasn't like a widespread. And so I think on my birthday, March 11th, that's when we made it. It was declared a national emergency or something.
And that's when on March 13th, I think that was like Governor Kemp had shut down all essential work on March 13th.
So prior to that, I have the one of my gifts is like I have the gift of discernment, and I also hear from God. Now, it's never audible, but if you have the Spirit in you, like he'll tell you something, he'll confirm something. So also too, I know it's from him. Whenever I know I wouldn't say that, right? I wouldn't say that. So I'm prefacing this. I'm just wanted to give you some background before I tell you what I'm about to tell you. So he told me, I think the first week, or maybe like the last week in February, the first week in March, he said, "You're gonna get the coronavirus." And I was like, "Yeah, right. Yeah, like." That doesn't, whatever.
Yeah.
And me and God, we are friends. Like he, I really talk to him about everything. I really have a relationship. So I think sometimes he laughs at me too.
Yeah.
Because I just say some crazy stuff. But he said, you're gonna get it. And I was like, oh no, I'm not. Whatever. Because I'm the hand wash, bleach and water, bleach, hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
We've been doing this since
she's one of them.
I mean, I'm a nurse. I mean, I've been around TB
OCD
patients.
or bleach and all that.
I am. I've been around TB patients. I've been around C. diff patients. I've been around every type of disease imaginable. I've been around it. So I was like, that just doesn't make sense. Then you start seeing all these deaths, and I said, why? I said, why? He said, because you need to be immune from it, and so you can help others. And so I know that didn't come from me. It had to come from him. And I told him, I said, I don't want to die. I said, I don't want to die. I said, I got, me and my husband, I said, we got a plan, and we think it's your plan too, that we be married for 75 years, and
that has been the plan since day one. That's been the
plan, and like when we're in our early hundreds, we die in our sleep, and then our girls find us, right? So like that's what we've been thinking. I said,
that has been our plan since day one.
My grandchildren, I want to experience that. We're just trying to leave a legacy, and I said, I'm too young right now. I hadn't done what I'm supposed to do. I know I'm supposed to do way more. Like girls cannot have a mommy. Okay. And so, and so he, but he didn't respond to that. He just said, it'll be okay. So then when I got it, I said, seriously, like really?
Yeah.
But I was still nervous. Like I was just nervous, because then you turn on CNN, you turn on MSNBC, and y'all see that death ticker at the top right hand corner of the screen that says how many deaths, and it was just multiplying and multiplying.
And I want to share something too. Even in the midst of going through all of this and seeing it, and then being having firsthand experience of it being in your house, and I'm going to say this. People think that you're not supposed to have some level of not just being afraid, but you have concern. All of us have concern. And although we know, and I want us to really, really get this, because when the scripture that says, and I think it's 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, it says, God hasn't given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. It might be 1 Timothy or 2 Timothy, but y'all know. But in the midst of that, there are moments where you have some level of, I would say, angst or not anxiety or worrying, but in the midst of all of that, we have to be honest with ourselves that we do go through experiences of where, there's some level of anxiety, some level of uncertainty, concern, and we know even in the midst of that, Philippians said, be anxious for nothing, but with prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. So in the midst of that, if you have something that is on your heart, the only person that you can really go to is God, to ask him for guidance and direction, to ask him that, and then for her to even have a conversation with God before even going into this. There's a level of comfort and there's a level of consolation that God gives in the midst of all of that. Yeah, so although she knew that this was something that she had to experience, that because God told her that she was going to experience that, at the same time, she was still willing to go through this process and be like, okay.
And I was kind of ignoring him because around that time I was planning for my 25th. I was one of the main, sorors that, my line sisters, that we were planning our activities that weekend. I got things to do. I'm not thinking about coronavirus.
Yeah.
So, but then you know how God is, that soft, that little, you'll be by yourself, not thinking anything, and then bam. He'll say, "Here it come again." Yeah. I'm like, no,
God, I'm not trying to feel this right now.
I'm not trying to, because and then on top of that, and some of y'all participated in my grandma's 97th birthday, with mailing cards. So I'm trying to organize her birthday party, and then my line anniversary, and so I just wasn't thinking about it, and then bam,
here we go.
Here we go. So then sometimes he would see me just staring off, and he'd be like, "Babe, what's wrong?" I'm just thinking about some things. That's when I had it, when I was quarantined, and then the fear is the concern on after all that. It's like, okay, CDC only say 14 days. Well, why I get positive on day 14? Yeah, and the doctors say, well, you got to go back into quarantine for another 14 days. Okay, well, how long is this? Because now, what if he's positive again? Is he going to reinfect me? Like, how long does this thing go on? For? And then, I'm hoping he's negative, because I know Daniel was in the lion's den and he didn't get touched. Yeah. So, and he's my lion.
Okay.
You are my lion.
But yes. But even in all of that, we experience, and I think everything, and I see a couple of comments. There were, hey, Doris, telling all the business. Pastor George Blunt, hey.
Doris dropped us off, y'all. Doris dropped us off.
How many? About
40 bottles of Coca-Cola.
Okay. This Doris, one right here has an addiction to Coca-Cola.
Yeah, and I know I'm supposed to be taking all like the elderberries and the vitamin C, and so I am taking that stuff, right? But Doris knows I have an addiction to Coca-Cola. Y'all, she came through, dropped that stuff off on the driveway.
Yes, and water. And then next door neighbor, thank God just for people. Miss Marie coming over and just, giving different things, airborne and
all these wellness stuff. That's what I'm taking.
It's just a blessing. And then continue. We always do emergency, but my mom giving me some emergency, and then just so much from different people. Even my job, asking can they buy dinner for us to cook, so we don't have to cook because
It will
just so
be
many
nice
different
though,
things.
y'all. If anybody want to hit us up to get us some dinner, because trying to cook and not infect the kids,
at the same time,
it's just,
it's a lot.
But here's some more.
So let's continue. But this is awesome, y'all. Credit Cooper, what's up, man? Prayers, and then Cat and Head, J. Derek, what's up, Cat and Head? Anxiety is real, and yes, God is the best source of comfort and consolation whenever we are going through our situation. Thank you for that word. And then also Leslie Patterson praying for you. God is able. Did I miss some? I think I missed some too. Elaine Jones. Hey, Elaine. Arlethea White. Prayers.
Hey.
My mom. Hey, Ma. Prayers definitely make the difference. And so our responsibility is to make sure that even when we're going through all of this, God gives us some level of comfort, consolation, and strength. What's up, Jermaine? College buddy. But all of that is just you start to think about everything that you're experiencing and you're going through, and it kind of brings things into full view that even though you're going through what you're going through, God is ultimately in control of everything. And that's where I get my confidence and comfort from. We all know that, try to put God to the test. Don't put him in a situation.
Yeah, I wasn't going to be like, God said it. Hey,
and then
no mask, but I was doing everything.
And then at the same time, I know that's kind of like hypocritical because I'm in the room with you at the same time. So all I say is this. I never had a feeling that I was supposed to leave the room.
Okay, I can see.
I don't know why, but I never had a feeling that I was supposed to leave the room. You know how if there's some level of, I never had that feeling for some reason, and I don't know why, but I felt even at peace that although I was laying beside her, I felt at peace that that God had this situation under control. And I just had to continue to do my husband and fatherly duties to make sure that everything is taken care of. And that's what I've been doing since
right.
then.
And so in my mind, what was making me, you never want your husband to leave the bed. In like 14 days, not be there when I'm used to being with him every night for 16 years. So I wasn't fighting him on it, right? He wanted to be with me. I'm here. I would try to not sleep up on him. I would try to, sleep that way where I wasn't breathing in him, right? But you hear the stories. Governor Andrew Cuomo of New York, his brother Christopher Cuomo, who has that show on CNN. Remember, he tested positive, so he moved down
stairs in the basement.
In the basement, and he's been doing his show from the basement, right? Yeah. So the wife and the kids were upstairs. Mm-hmm. He didn't touch her. He didn't do nothing. Didn't go upstairs, nothing, because they got their own, apartment down there in the basement. She wound up testing positive.
Yes.
And then I was like, how did she? Apparently, probably when she was bringing him food, and then the utensils and the plates.
Yes.
When she's touching them to then go wash them and stuff like that. Those are probably the things that she would take down there, and then he would give them to her or something. Yeah. That's probably how she got in contact. So you hear the stories like that, and I've heard of other husbands and wives that were separated. Yeah. The only story that I've heard of where you got physicians or nurses that might rent like a hotel.
Yeah, and totally be out of that environment.
Totally be out of the environment for a month.
Yeah.
For a month, and then they get retested. See, I can't get retested still, even though I've been positive. I cannot get retested.
Yeah,
but they get retested. Then you got to get retested again. But then within 24, 48 hours, you got to get another like a 2 test to confirm, and then they move back home.
Yeah.
we weren't going to do all that.
Yeah.
But maybe, hindsight, you don't know how someone will respond
Yeah.
to having
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
like, just say, I'm sure kids took a turn, or my husband took a turn. Oh, definitely, I'll be blaming myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got some comments, I think, at the end, and some
Yeah.
right here. You too.
Hey, sis, my sister Ebony, she says, always remember God has prayer warriors on the wall who will always be ready to kick coronavirus in the throat. Not
too?
my family and not my house.
I know that's
so,
right.
and that things, the scripture says, the effectual fervent prayer of the righteous availeth much. So we thank God for all of the prayers too as well, because that's so important too. Trinita Jennings, so happy that you're okay. I took care of my husband. He got better than I, tested positive, and I'm on day 7 of my quarantine.
Okay.
And so when you start thinking about that, yeah, I mean,
Yep.
I don't know.
You're not gonna not take care of them.
Exactly. So, and somehow, some way, it just happens. I don't know how. I mean, this virus is something. I mean, with it being airborne, and it can be. They said it can be. Some have said that it can be in the air for 3 hours, or it can be on surfaces for 3 days. I don't know. This is different
learning.
Information, so we're still learning. So how can you, be in one environment, and then all of a sudden you leave that environment, and then somebody else comes into that environment, and there you have it.
We
We don't know. I mean, we got Lysol over the house, all over the house, Clorox cleanup, everything. We
spray down the
spray down
grocery bags.
all of the grocery bags that come into the house. I mean, so it's not that we were being reckless or just.
Only reckless we were doing was loving each other.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time,
loving each other, we was reckless. We were loving each other.
In that we were.
But we've been staying away from the kids.
Yeah.
We really have. We really have. And so my prayer is, I just want to get through this. I want to make sure that only if I had still some, I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I'm just tired.
Yeah.
And I noticed I wasn't as sharp sometimes when I was going through it. I was like, what? I know my name. No, I mean, but just some things. I just wasn't as sharp. But I'm back. I'm just tired.
I want to just share something. Here's the other thing for all of the families that have experienced death as a result of coronavirus. The lady that my wife was in contact with actually passed away. So we're not making light of coronavirus. We're not. All we're doing is saying that this was our experience of what we experienced. Everybody hasn't gone through that experience, and everybody's everything that everybody is going through. It varies. It varies, and so our heart and our prayers go out to families who have been directly affected by this in that way, to where they've lost loved ones. We've heard pastors and so many people that we may know on a first-hand basis that have passed away, and nurses and doctors
that have died taking care.
And so all of this at the same time, and it's this thing. It is an equal opportunist. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're the highest of the high or considered, the lowest of the low. It hits whoever. Now we know that from the numbers, they say it has disproportionately affected African Americans, and we understand that. But at the same time, it's still hitting everybody, and that death total of 42,000 Could be 43
It's 44 now, I think.
It's 44.
I saw it
Wow.
earlier today.
Okay, so that was so when you see all of that, and so our hearts, our prayers, our sincerity of where we are, it definitely goes out to those who have loved ones who have passed. And in our prayers we pray for, and then we also have had different experiences of being able to pray on behalf of others. So our responsibility is to make sure that we're doing everything that we possibly can to shed some light on this, and then also, there could be some similarities in some people who may be experiencing something and that they don't really know if that's it or not.
And that's why I wanted to share my symptoms. They're mild compared to those that are on the ventilator, right?
Yeah.
Or the ones that are at home, short of breath, who can't breathe, and all that.
Yeah.
So if you are fevers, headaches, nasal drip, those are the sore throat. So of course, if I'm having nasal drip, I can't breathe. I lost my sense of smell.
Yeah.
Right. But I didn't lose my sense of taste. Be aware of these symptoms, and if you think that something not right, and these are symptoms that I had not had together collectively like that before.
Yeah.
And I know my body, so I self-quarantine on top of I knew I was exposed to.
Yeah.
So you could be exposed going to the grocery store.
Yeah.
You just never know.
You never know.
So really, because sometimes with some people it's mild, or some person can be asymptomatic. I think he has it. I'm not saying this is the nurse talking. I ain't doing the claiming it. I'm not saying, don't say that he'll have.
Yeah.
It's just the nurse and me. If you look at the science and the proximity of her, he's been with me the entire time. Mm-hmm. More than likely he has it. It would be a miracle if he didn't.
Which God is in the miracle working business, so we never know.
Remember that Daniel Lions Den, we just wanted to share our story, that maybe you've had some similar symptoms, or of others, and tell them to quarantine. And another thing too, I want to say this for. We in Georgia, y'all.
Yeah.
Just remember Tuskegee syphilis experiment.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
They've added 1,500 beds to the Georgia Dome. Mm. Don't fall for this reopening on Friday. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. They're using
this
first wave
as
an experiment.
Let God give you the wisdom, discernment. Because those who are here in Georgia and other states who are trying to reopen up, it's just asinine to me, for me to see how people are that reckless with the decisions on behalf of communities and states that they represent. And you're seeing different stories all over the place of people who down in Florida. Hey, Stacy, she said speak truth. Down in Florida, opening up stuff and really didn't want to close down. You got places all over, and that are defying what there is some level of wisdom that we need to have. So when I pray for some of our spiritual leaders. I won't even say spiritual leaders, but our governmental leaders, that their eyes in some way would be open to have a heart and to really understand what's going on. But even in the midst of that,
if they open it, you don't have to go.
Yeah, exactly. You have some discernment.
You ultimately make the choice.
Yes.
You ultimately
you
make
show
the
some
choice.
Discernment.
So make the right decision. We have a lot of comments here.
Felicia Pearson Smith, we've been praying for you guys.
Oh, yes.
Janet Martin,
First Lady.
Joy. I'm so thankful you are better. what are your thoughts on plasma of those recovered being used to help those with COVID-19? And then Shay, glad you're doing well. Lady E, Felicia again. What should be the response of the faith community sheltering in place?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we're
you're
speaking
gonna
to that.
he's gonna speak to that. I'll speak to the plasma.
Yeah, Vicky Linder, our prayers are with you. S. Michelle,
Thank you,
Carolina
y'all.
Pride, Carol, pray for you both.
Thank
Doris,
you.
love y'all to life. Anything I can do to help. Shantana Robinson, prayers to you and your family. It is all God's will. Thank you for making it personal for us. Bless your ministry. Educate. Isabella F. Jenkins, prayers to you and the family. We still got some more comments
on YouTube.
On YouTube. May God bless you guys. Ebony Haley, hey, one of my college friends, lifting you guys up in prayer. Stacy, speak truth. And then Ebony, when I see the governor and his family out eating at a restaurant, then I'll come out of hiding.
But notice,
all right.
But notice they didn't open up any state government buildings.
Yeah.
Didn't open up the inside of banks.
Yeah.
You know, they're very, very strategic. You know, with what they did. But to speak to the plasma, oh my God. Yes. I'm going to be donating my plasma, and I can't wait to get started.
Yes.
Now, what I do want to do before I do that, I'm going to get my antibodies testing. And just to see how much I got going on. In me. But I know when you donate plasma, you do it for a certain period of time. So if I could save a life, you know, with the components of my blood, I definitely will be doing that.
Most definitely. So, that's the least.
That's the least
that we can
I can do. Because remember, I kind of knew I was going to get it, right?
Yeah.
I got it. I'm gonna help. I'm gonna help as many people as I possibly can. So talk to the faith base.
Yeah. So from this standpoint, as a faith-based, a pastor of a church, number one, I have the wisdom and the discernment of God to lead and guide me, and I will not let anyone try to dictate or let the faith community should be leading instead of following from others.
That's good.
And so in that, my responsibility is that although they may say one thing, I know that God is ultimately in control of all things, and my responsibility is to be to him. So I'm not going to, as a pastor, put others in jeopardy when God has given me wisdom to know that we should still continue to be in a place where we can cover ourselves, because there's a lot of people who don't care. There's a lot of people who want to get benefits from people. And so we've seen that this whole entire environment has been shifted, shaken. And people are reeling, trying to come up with answers. And we still don't know how long this thing is going to last. So our responsibility, and my responsibility as a faith leader, is to, number one, have wisdom and discernment. Let God lead and guide you. Do not put yourself in a position of following people who are not even connected to God, or who are doing things for their own God, their money, and will want that to be their God. And therefore, we who are connected to God should still operate in a place of wisdom, in a place of moving in sound judgment, and knowing that in the midst of all of this, God is ultimately in control. So no matter what we're facing and no matter what we're going through, we know that in the end, God has this in his hands. But he also wants us to be practical.
Right.
God gives wisdom for us to be practical, for us to make decisions on our own, that you don't need God to tell you not to go outside when you see the facts that this thing can actually mess with you by just being in close contact or proximity to somebody. Right. So that's just wisdom, common sense that God gives all of us. So let's continue to use that common sense and be practical about some of the things. Continue to do the things that are necessary, washing our hands and making sure that we take care of ourselves. But a lot of times, man, it's just so crazy.
So yeah, and the nursing side of this, y'all. Yeah. If you look at the statistics, common sense, as a country, we've only tested 1% of, maybe up to 2% now.
Yeah.
Let's say 2%. It's not 2%. I'm just trying to give us credit.
But yeah,
we've tested, let's say, 1 to 2% of the country. Yes. Okay, and then here in 99%. Georgia, here in Georgia, we've tested 1%, less than 1% of the state, but yet we are reopening. So, I know testing now, they're trying to get testing and stuff like that. But I was telling him that I feel comfortable taking my own children out the house once the majority of us have been tested. Yes. And it's easier to, because we're not going to get a vaccine until next year, right?
They said at minimum 18 months.
Yeah, so we're not gonna get one. But we can probably start having treatments and stuff like some of the plasma or other drugs that are doing well in some of these clinical trials. It's some of them are showing some signs of treatment, not cure, treatment. So we have more of that and more testing. Then you can start making better informed decisions.
Exactly.
But in the interim, you protect your family at all costs. And God will sustain you through this.
Yes.
He will sustain you through this. He really will.
Yeah, we had a couple more. Shawnee. Hey, Shawnee. Prayers and hearts. Kevin Lipsy, thankful that your wife is better. To God be the glory. Hey. Pastor Kevin Lipsy. Hey, sir.
He has some more.
And then we had some over here.
Thank you all.
Yes, it is about profit over people. Yeah. Isaiah 26:20 says, "Go, my people, enter in the rooms and shut the doors behind you.
Let's talk about that.
And hide yourself for a little while."
I was wondering if he was going to read
until his wrath has passed.
Who posted that? Your sister?
That's my sister.
Okay.
Hey, Felicia.
Yeah, you know what, Ebony, I told your brother his sister's name is Ebony.
Yeah, my sister's name is Ebony.
Yeah, it's real. My name's Ebony. My name's Ebony.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So I told him, I said, you need to have that verse. I said, because, I'm tired. I'm not trying to do research for this. I'm just going to speak from my heart and just say.
What time it is?
What time is it?
8:04. See, let me tell you, I told her, and we'll close out with just a couple of things, but
you gonna say that verse?
But I told her that we're just gonna go with the flow tonight, and she was like, "How are we gonna pass the time? How we don't really have? You know what? It's when we're connected and we flow off each other. The time just flies by like that, and it's already passed. We normally." Yeah, but anyway, so here's where we are. Here's where we are. We know that what we've experienced can help somebody get some level of clarity on what to look for, but we also want to give encouragement to everybody who's viewing that even in the midst of all of this, never get to the point of where you let the situation that is happening on the outside dictate how you are on the inside. Always be connected to God. Always move in a level of peace and understanding. Be practical. Apply what wisdom says from the Word of God, and then also from knowledge and science. I believe God created science, but God is the head of all of that, and so you use that to make informed decisions.
The best decisions for your family.
Burgess AD, let's be wise in this season. Let us take the necessary precautions to protect our people. Our people does not only, the does not
We
only
gotta read
mean,
that.
yeah, hold on, let me read it. Does not only mean the members of our congregations, but means all people. Don't be so heavenly minded that you are no earthly good, and your good now becomes evil spoken of. Remain calm, remain focused, gain the wisdom and instructions needed to make war on this virus. Protect yourself, family members, neighbors. Check on everyone within your reach. Be proactive and use precaution while still standing on the word of God. Use caution and set so that the death rate won't be worse than it could be. Please be safe out there.
That?
That's brother A.D. Burgess.
Awesome.
A.D.
Awesome.
Listen, he said everything that could be said.
Yeah. I know we got some more.
And we got, I mean, y'all are just flooding.
We'll read the rest of the comments and then that was good.
Faye Smith, hey, Sister Faye.
Hey. I would love some of your red velvet cupcakes.
You know, the April birthdays got it going on this month.
We love your red velvet cupcakes.
But prayers for your healing for all. God is able. Blessings. Man, I mean, there's so many scriptures. My sister is dropping. But listen.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in.
Read them on Facebook. Listen, she got all these scriptures, but he'll cover us, he'll protect us. Psalm 91, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all our heart. Lean not to your own understanding. In all our ways acknowledge him. He will direct your path. I mean, there's so many things. So, guys, we love you guys, we know that this too shall pass.
It will.
This too shall pass.
One day at a time.
God will keep us in perfect peace if we keep our minds stayed on him. We love you guys.
Love y'all.
Until next week, if God's so sees fit.
Next week.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
I'll be all right.
Blessings and peace. God bless you.
Peace.
Love you.